You can see we've been tracking since it started.
This is the Hawaii County Civil Defense Administrator's last week on the job. Darryl Oliveira is heading back into retirement for the second time.
Try to expedite the recruitment process for that position, as well as to look at what might be opportunities for interested candidates within the system now.
Before he took the reins as the head of Hawaii County's emergency management, Oliveira was chief of the Hawaii County Fire Department. He retired from that position in August 2011. But that did not last long. Mayor Billy Kanoy named Oliveira as Civil Defense Administrator just a few years later. Oliveira was at the helm during a remarkably busy time for Hawaii Island.
Yes, we're preparing for an island-wide impact.
Oliveira dealt with multiple hurricane threats.
We are tracking it. It's a Category 3 hurricane presently.
One hurricane, Iselle, made landfall as a tropical storm in 2014, leaving widespread damage across the Puna district. Downed trees left the region without power for weeks in some places, which meant that residents who rely on catchment were without water.
I was down in Kapoho today, meeting with the community as well. Understand some of the damage and devastation down there. We're working with them on the cleanup, just as everywhere else.
As Oliveira later reflected, there were lessons learned in the wake of Iselle.
And probably the biggest or common theme that we got from those meetings was better communication. Information going out early, information timely and accurate, and maintaining a good communication flow throughout the event.
But as the island recovered in the summer of 2014, there wasn't much time for reflection because a new threat was moving down the mountain, a lava flow that started 2 months before the hurricane hit and was now headed towards the town of Pahoa.
So we are anxiously waiting, just as you, to...
Once again, with Mayor Billy Kanoy by his side, Oliveira stepped into the spotlight.
This is a civil defense message.
Over the coming weeks, Oliveira's reassuring voice saturated the airwaves and our website, offsetting the growing fear with his calm sharing of information. His updates came multiple times a day.
The surface flow has advanced approximately 300 yards since yesterday. Presently, the leading edge of the surface flow is located approximately 0.3 miles from the northwest or upper corner of the Wa'okele Forest Reserve and Ka'ohi Homestead's boundary. Currently, the flow does not pose an immediate threat to area communities. However, residents of the Ka'ohi subdivision are advised to monitor the local radio broadcast for further updates and for possible evacuation instructions if conditions change.
In town meetings, Oliveira took questions from a worried public.
Like, smart bombs or dynamite.
Some of whom demanded the county do something to stop the lava flow.
Why are we so sensitive?
Which Oliveira handled with grace.
Just as was asked earlier, would we divert or consider, bombing or opening another source in the lava? We still don't know what that outcome would be. As Dr. Jim has shared many times, everything is downhill from the source. So by opening another hole or diverting it another way, it could send it to another community, posing another risk for some other subdivision somewhere else.
The National Guard was deployed and emergency roads were hastily improved and then opened.
Okay, as far as civil defense, we did an overflight this morning at first light, so we were up there over the flow probably between 6 and 6:30.
Oliveira provided media with constant updates by phone.
The flow had advanced and had crossed Paw Street. It actually crossed Paw Street about 3:50 this morning. We have personnel on the ground.
And by press conferences.
As noted on the map, like we showed yesterday, this being the leading edge, furthest or closest to the Pahoa Village roadway, still 480 feet from the roadway.
And just when it appeared as if the main arterial road in and out of Puna would be cut off by the flow, the lava slowed to a halt.
Again, if we can all say thanks to the HVO team again.
And in 2015, the activity near Pahoa stopped altogether. Puna was spared, and the people honored Oliveira in parades and events that followed. But later that year, a new threat emerged, unlike any other Oliveira had faced before, a sickness carried by a little mosquito that would go on to infect hundreds. Dengue fever hit Hawaii Island in September 2015, and it was a new type of disaster management for civil defense, which was named Incident Command by the state.
It's transmitted via a mosquito, so it's not a person-to-person type of a transmission, it's through a mosquito. And that's why it's so important that we get the public's help and assistance in breaking that cycle.
Once again, Oliveira's voice was heard on the radio, as the chief had to find a balance between providing relevant information to a concerned population while trying to maintain the patient's rights to privacy.
The other thing you may have noticed on our webpage is we are putting out a map that shows the location of the confirmed cases. It also shows the location of suspect cases.
It took some time, but eventually a state of emergency was declared, with the county again taking the lead. And for the most part, Oliveira saw the outbreak to its conclusion. In a final budget presentation to the Hawaii County Council, Oliveira reflected on his time at civil defense and talked about the future.
I wasn't looking for another career, but I've definitely enjoyed the work. I've learned a lot, appreciate what our community has been through and all that they do.
Although Chief Oliveira's last official day on the job is this weekend, he will be staying on as a volunteer to help train his eventual replacement.
Just as when I retired from fire, more than happy to voluntarily remain on to assist and support the department and provide a transition. So I'll be here.
Oh.